Last year, I went on and on about how I refused to pay a service to play a game on a monthly basis.
Guess who's paying?
Well, we went to a game place where you buy games.
Yeah.
And one of our friends was working there at the time, and I came across City of Heroes, and you know, I've always had this flight of fancy that I'd like to put on tights and fly around the city. And
with a cape.
With a cape, you know. And this was an opportunity to buy it because you bought City of Heroes, and I got City of Villains for just 1 cent.
1 penny.
And plus it gave me 2 months of play.
And you got a figurine.
And I got a figurine. And I thought to myself,
you
okay,
love figurines.
If I can get this game, and it's only going to cost me 1 cent for the other game, so it means I get 2 months of gameplay, I'll probably play the game and not play it ever again.
It's called The Hook.
That's 7 months ago or 6,
yeah.
No, not that long, beginning of summer, so that maybe about 4 or 5 months ago.
Yeah.
When I got the game, I loved it, because you go into the game.
And I had no interest in it.
No, in fact, actually, I had to go on and on to Deb to go out and get the game just so that we could play together. Because we like to get games that we can go in and play together.
Yeah.
You know, even though we're sitting in the same room, we want to play via our computers together.
That's how we talk to each other.
Well, let me say, a few Sundays have passed where Deb has not left her computer because she's been playing this game and getting her super villain higher and higher and higher and higher. So, now, one of the things...
I spitfire good.
So we're going to take a look at City Heroes today. We're going to take a look at City of Villains today. We're going off for a little British trip.
Oh, no.
Okay.
Oh, we're not going to that street, are we?
We're going to talk to a very nice lady that I've spoken to on the phone, and I love her emails because she throws these little funny emails
she does,
and pictures.
Yeah.
And I'm going to show her emails today. And the one thing I noted about it was there is no age limit, or no one knows who you are on the other end of the internet. And the excitement this lady brought to computing always enthuses me. You know, I love it when people are using the computer to communicate with people overseas.
And being creative about it.
We're also going to take a look at a game called Titan Quest, and if we have time, we're going to look at DVD 2. See you soon.
We are having a barbecue, compliments of Shoeless Joe's on the next daytime.
And then it's Workout Wednesday, so we're going to be burning off all those calories.
And then Jamie Carswell stops by of the Carswell Show. Should be scary. Stay tuned for the next daytime.
Explore all things Durham with Durham Living, a fun-filled and informative half-hour magazine show that travels your community, profiling local attractions, restaurants, and places of historical significance. Take the journey with Durham Living on Rogers Television, Durham Region.
As members of CHAMP, we've had a close bond with the war amputees ever since we were kids.
We've learned about Canada's military heritage
from those who are actually there.
Now we can pass on their message through presentations, videos, and our own website.
Operation Legacy isn't just about remembering.
It's commemoration with a message.
That message? Never again.
It was our war. It is their legacy.
You better be a cop.
No, forensics. Tonight's the night. And it's going to happen again and again. Has to happen.
And we're back again. So I had mentioned that we will be showing ladies in bathing suits on this episode.
You scare me.
And actually, just recently, we met a nice friend on the telephone. We kind of talked about spyware and so forth via email, actually.
Yes, we have Ruby on the phone.
And we have Ruby. Hi, Ruby. How are you?
Oh, I'm fine, Liz and Deb. Thank you very much, and good luck with your show.
Thank you. Thanks for joining us today.
Oh, I just love your show.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. We have a fan. We have one fan.
We have one fan.
One fan.
One person's watching us.
Two, my nephew next door.
Oh, great. They're going to be watching, too.
Well, I tape every time, right? So, I'm looking forward to these new ones that's coming on now.
Oh, I appreciate it.
Yeah.
Now, when you first emailed us, and I mean, I'm going to pull up your email because they're quite funny. Deb and I get a kick out of the little pictures you put in them and so forth.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I like to try to match them with what I'm saying.
Okay, yeah, and they do. They do for sure. Now, we had to talk to Ruby's agent to have her on the show today. And now, Ruby, when we first discussed it, you were having a problem with spyware, or it looked like spyware.
Yes, I had an awful lot of problems. Everything was, I just couldn't get anywhere. And then you recommended this Spybot to me.
Mm-hmm, a free download.
Yeah. And, yes, and I went and I got a free download, and wow, it was absolutely terrific. Like, I got rid of 90 of different things that was bad.
Now, is it my imagination, or does she call you Les?
Yes,
that's my British name.
Oh.
You're British, right?
Pardon?
Are you British? English?
Oh, gosh, yes, but I've been in Canada 52 years now.
Well, you know, if anyone's
Your
ever
name is
watched this show...
pronounced on Coronation Street as Les. That's why I asked.
Les Batterby.
Oh, no, here we go again.
Well, you know, it's funny because I used to live in Oakville. And if you're familiar with Oakville, Oakville's very English-oriented, and one of my roommates was Irish. So every Sunday morning, of course, she would watch Coronation Street. And I got hooked then. So I love the English accent. And you still have the accent after so many years of hanging out here.
Yes, I never lose it. Like, actually, lots of times if I go to the store, people say, oh, how long have you been in Canada? I said, 52 years.
And 52 years. Now, keep in mind, Ruby is 80 years old.
Yes,
and
I'm getting on up there.
And she's doing her own problem solving on her own computer,
Well,
which we just think it's so cool.
That's what got me the most, because I wanted to make sure that everyone knew that there isn't anyone that can't use a computer.
No.
You know, and just to say, and the fact that you're actually solving your own issues. Now, you ran Spybot. It did find some spyware. For anyone that wants to load it, you can go to www.spybot.com. It's a free program you can download. It was pretty straightforward to use, Ruby.
Yes, yes. I did find that I went, when I did come up to it, I went to, oh dear, what was that one?
Download.com?
Download.com.
Yeah, they have it too. They host it.
That was very good.
And
I found it easy to go to that one.
I mean, to run the program, I'm positive we'll have it here on the computer, because I load it onto every computer I have. To run the program, you run the Spybot, you click on check for problems, and then once it's done, it lists all the different ones. And how many did you have first?
94.
Wow.
Ooh.
Now you're bound to get a couple of them just by surfing the internet. It downloads some cookies.
94. And the next time I did it the next day, and it said 2. This one particular one kept coming up, and the next day the one kept coming up. But then after that, 5 days absolutely free.
Good girl.
Yeah, I find that what you have to realize, just by surfing the internet, you're bound to get a few red marks. So it's not a big concern.
Sure.
But if you're finding your machine's running slow and it's saying low on virtual memory, this program will do a lot, not to get rid of viruses. What it will do is it'll get rid of programs that are put there specifically to track where you go.
Right.
So that marketing and advertising people can target you. So what it does, it tracks, let's say you go and look for fishing all the time, it tracks, it starts to try and send you messages and advertisement about fishing. So it really tries to do that. Now, the other thing I was quite impressed with is that when you were looking to solve your problem, you also signed on to our message board and you were able to post on our board.
Oh, that was it. I found that really good. Yes, I really love that.
And be able to communicate.
That's great. A lot of helpful people there, eh, Ruby?
Oh, yeah. Like each one has got their own idea, and excuse me, and I've only checked one, like, but I think they're all good to read, you know, and I like to read other people's problems and see how they've solved theirs, just in case I had to get that one.
Sure.
It's a great resource that way.
It is.
Now, one of the programs you're using for mail isn't really the standard that everyone uses, but you're using Incredimail.
Yes, yes.
And you had said your grandson sent it to you?
No, not my grandson. my nephew.
Okay. And you've been using it now for about 5 years?
About 3 years, I imagine.
And one of the things that's really neat, if we look at the back, I'm just showing, you sent one earlier today, and it's a lady in a green outfit and an apron.
I know a lady standing there with her legs up tight.
Yeah.
That's the one.
You know, it really does put something to your face. And there's a smiley, and the smiley's having a little shower.
Well, that was, yeah, well, I was happy that night because I'd done something good.
Yeah, there you go. I mean, it really does put smiles on people's faces when they receive this. Now, Incredimail, again, another free program that you can download?
Some people are a little bit nervous of it, actually. I did send it to my friends, but they said I couldn't figure out how to use it, so they didn't bother. Well, they just love it with the pictures, you know.
You know, and there's a lot of people that like to use the program. It's been around long enough that I can say that it's probably a program you could use. What we have found, though, for people that have a lot of email, we find it a little bit more difficult to back up the email and then restore it if we ever had to, say, reinstall someone's computer.
It does take more space on your, you know, hard drive or whatever.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if it's something that you enjoy doing, that's just cause enough to use it in general.
Sure.
Now, again, the other one is you had sent me over a website, or we talked about a website that I just fell in love with.
Does Ruby have a website?
Ruby has pictures.
It's not my website. It's this guy. He used to run the British Britannia. It was a magazine.
Wow.
And then he went back to England, and then he came back and he started this Your British Village.
Wow.
And actually, I'll give him a little plug here now.
Good for you.
Well, I've got the website.
He's got this British show coming on. It's being put on in London. Not London, England, London, Canada.
Oh.
Okay.
It's one that they do one similar in Toronto.
Okay.
Whether you ever saw it advertised, but you see them lining all up to get in, and then they have all kind of British food, and they have had people from Coronation Street down there, you know, at the shows. So,
Ruby, don't say that.
That's my wallpaper right now. It's the Coronation Street wallpaper I found.
Oh, no.
Now,
they had, I think if you go, when that site that I sent you, there's one, I think somebody's got a picture done with a Les. That is on Coronation Street. Another one that was done with Mavis, I think.
Yeah? Oh, I remember Mavis years ago, though.
Yeah, well, she was at the British show down in Toronto when it was there, when I went down, when the first one they ever put on.
Well, what I've done is, we're on the website, and again, for everybody, the website's actually www.yourbritishvillage.com. And when I went there, I clicked on the very first icon under the photo gallery called Laguna's Pictures.
Yes, my trade name.
Okay. And I pull up the...
non-de-plume, I guess you would call it.
The very first picture I pull up is that of your grandson.
Oh, yes, my grandson, yes.
And you say that he's actually acting this week or next week?
It's this week, for 2 weeks now. It's the Pickering Museum. They do this outside thing, and it's the spirits that walk in, and it's all... like in the olden days, where they used to hang people, you know, and they go take people down in different groups, 15 at a time, to all these different little things.
Oh, okay.
So it's very interesting.
That's awesome.
Well, I'm going on to picture number 2, and I'm looking at these lovely dresses. Are these your dresses?
That's what, because I used to do competitive ballroom dancing.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So that's some of those that I made.
Is that in Canada or in England, Ruby?
It was in here.
Oh, in Canada?
In Canada, yes.
That's awesome.
And looking at the... I see all your awards, too. And I see a newspaper clipping that actually came out of September. I'm looking at
1977.
There she knows.
And that's a picture of yourself and your husband?
Yes, that was in the Ajax Advertiser.
Isn't that nice?
To let them know I was trying to get all these young kids at the high school into ballroom dancing.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
So, and that was all free. It was run by Dance Ontario.
Wow.
Now, I've pulled up another photo because we're actually going off to a break, and this one is the one I promised everyone. It's a lady in a bathing suit, and you're doing the splits. Is this? Yeah. Is this in England?
Yes, in England.
Wow.
All those in the beach run along the beach when I was on the stage.
I'm going to have to hold you, Ruby. We're off, and when we come back, we'll be looking at some games.
OHL Primetime on Rogers Television. Don't miss the Sioux at Oshawa, Sunday, October 8th at 6 p.m.
In the midst of urban development, Hunter Farms has preserved a unique country lifestyle for 5 generations in North Whitby. What started as a cash crop farm in the 1930s, it has grown to 150 acres with pastures of unusual animals. Over the years, it has branched out into raising dozens of emus, the tall flightless birds from Australia.
They have a hide, so they have leather, so for boots, purses and that, but the main focus is for the meat and the oil.
To keep the family tradition alive, Renee has been farming for 15 years.
Farming has always been in my blood.
Today, Hunter Farms offers guided tours throughout the summer months and is an unusual attraction in the Durham region.
Winning with Weights promotes a healthy lifestyle for everyone. Whether your goal is to lose weight, build muscle, or just keep fit, Bernice will keep you motivated. Join us for brand new episodes of Winning with Weights, only on Rogers Television, Durham Region.
And we're back again.
We are.
Now, haven't you always wanted to put on some tights and a cape and jump off large buildings? Well, I know I have.
Oh,
Growing
I know
up,
you have too.
Don't try this at home.
Oh.
Story we talked about earlier. We're going to review a game. 2 games, really, right?
Yeah.
Because we're looking
it's
at
kind of 2 in 1.
City of Heroes, and then the add-on for it is City of Villains. I don't know if it's an add-on or an expansion.
Yeah, I'm a little bit confused because if you buy one or the other, you can still play as a hero or a villain. So
and you can do either of the 2.
I think you lost your penny, in other words.
The one big thing I find about these games is I've always been afraid of getting into a monthly payment plan. Now, we're looking at $24 a month. That's for me.
Each.
$24 a month for Deb. So that's like $48 a month.
Let's call it 50.
50 bucks a month to play a game. Now, I can't go near the credit card and cancel this game account because one young lady by the name of Deb will myrtleize me because you've actually spent. We wake up in the morning, we're all ready, I want to go to yard sales, and Deb, you've played this game from morning till night.
Yeah, I want to spit fire.
To dawn.
You go to your yard sales, I'll spit fire.
I lost feeling in my hand.
Yeah, you did.
Down here.
You actually had to go to the doctor.
I was scared to know what it was. It was like it was asleep. And he said that I was gaming too much, right? So I was hitting my funny bone.
Right on the edge of your desk.
My doctor gave me an entire instruction about where my funny bone is and where I was probably leaning, and that's what I made my arm fall asleep for a week for. But this game is called City Heroes, City of Villains.
I'm playing villains right now. Well, we're both playing villains right now.
I'm going to look at a video as we're sitting here talking. The one neat thing about this game,
you can fly.
You can fly.
Yeah,
when you first build your character, there are so many combinations for what you want your outfit to look like, what you want your name to be. Now, Deb's name, your villain name is Hellfire.
Hellflames.
Hellflames.
Yeah.
I don't know if we can say that, so they might be beeping it.
We just did.
Mine is Babybot.
Yeah.
And the one thing
and you're just like this little green robot guy.
Oh, but the neat thing that I can do is I can actually bring other robots, droids as they're called, to come in and help me fight the villains.
I'm the healer.
What they do is they give you missions. And you follow the missions, and not only do you play the missions with each other, but you can play the missions with other people that have been paying their $24 a month as well.
You can have 8 on a team.
So you can run through and you do like most games, you level up. Now, the big thing about it is you want to level up because you want to get a new power. You want to see what that new power can do. And they've got some pretty awesome powers. So let's say you're going to a mission, it's like a mile away. Deb can be at that mission. As long as I've come into the same city, you can teleport me to where you are. So the teleport is a really neat feature.
You can
The other really neat feature as I open this, I'm going to open up the other one. The other really neat feature of this is that Deb can teleport a foe. So let's say you're going in, and you're going into the mission, and you're going to fight all of these people with your flames and all of the weapons you have. And there's some really neat weapons, very superhero-ish, if that's a word.
Yeah, it's cool.
You can teleport one of the villains over to where you are, beat them up, go teleport another one.
Pick the next one out.
So, I mean, the gameplay and the graphics play on this is absolutely amazing. It just kind of thins out the pack
before you run in there. And you run in there like gangbusters.
Well, Deb loves to heal, so she always gets the healing power. So I'll just run in, and there's this one that Deb loves. It's this power that I have called Flurry. And I just sit there and I pummel the guy, and you can hear her over the corner laughing. So, I mean,
just the sound of it is just hilarious.
Just to hear Deb laughing is worth the $50 a month, because that's probably one of the sweetest sounds that I get to hear on a regular basis.
It's funny. It's a riot.
Now, this is the City of Villains. City of Heroes, the first one that came out. City of Villains is our...
And we did play City of Heroes for a while, but we found it was kind of dead-ending us. We couldn't really get on with it. So then we flipped over and we started playing Villains, and we're like still going, and I'm level 20.
And I've been playing Villains for a long time. I mean, with Villains, you had a whole bunch of new characters as we're looking, and I mean, we've played all of these.
I'm having more fun with Villains than I did with Heroes.
And this is a big thing for a lady that didn't grow up with comic books. I mean, I love this because I had comic books galore. You know, all right, I'm 40 years old, but I still like the little figurines that I'll put on my wall and stuff.
Yeah, the ones all over our living room.
When I go to McDonald's, I want the Happy Meal treat. You know, so like, what's the problem with that? And
you're a little kid.
The fact that you're playing it, and you're actually playing it more than I am now.
I love it because, first off, I love RPGs. I'm a big RPG fan. I have been ever since, you know, the first creation of them.
You're not a fan of keyboard commands, though.
No, I hate keyboard commands.
When you play most PC games, the keyboard commands are W, A, and D to move around, or the roll keys. What I really like about the City of Villains and Heroes, though it's not completely smooth, you can use your mouse.
Yeah,
so
which I do.
You can play the entire game just by mouse movement, to move yourself around, to fly around. I love the fly.
Yeah,
when you first start your character, you don't get fly. You have to run as fast as you can and jump over a wall.
For like 0.67 miles.
But once you get fly, you're zooming. Like zoom. You know, like the teleport foe, I love to fly really high in the air, teleport the foe with me, and then he falls, and then all of a sudden all of his villainous power goes away.
Oh, sadistic bliss.
When it comes down to games, and I have to concede, this is a game that I'll probably pay for a long time. I may not have if I wouldn't have got Deb involved and asked her to go get the game.
Yeah, you would have dropped it, I'm sure.
For a lot of good, clean, fun, role-playing game, pummeling fun, I would definitely recommend.
And you play co-op, too. You play co-op on teams.
You're not fighting other people.
No, you're playing with them.
You know, you can go to something called Bloody's Bay where you actually go and you fight harder villains. But, you know, if you're looking for something and you don't mind dishing out the $24 a month so that one of your kids or grandkids can play.
And I spend enough time playing it, so I don't mind paying for it.
On the other hand, we're going to go on to a game that we've also played, because summer's been full of games for us.
It certainly has.
One of them is called Titan's Quest. Now, we bought Titan's Quest because we had seen the demo and we kind of liked it.
Now, that was the game that was only available on DVD, correct? You got to have a DVD-ROM
to play
the game, to install the game.
Now, I've got a little bit of the game up. It's very Guild-ish, Dungeon Siege kind of.
Yeah, it's kind of like Dungeon Siege and Diablo.
Same kind of, I mean, if you played those kind of games, you're familiar with it. I don't like the camera angles. Like you said,
I didn't either.
You used the words, it's kind of scrolly.
It's kind of like a side-scroll game, and I didn't appreciate that.
I mean,
I want to be able to look around and see the full gamut. And,
the graphics are great. The villains,
I expected them to be better.
Villains are reoccurring. They keep coming back on a regular basis. It's a great game if you want to buy it once, maybe buy 2 copies so that 2 kids in the same household can play.
Which is what we did.
Which is us, 2 kids, and we play. And we buy these games because we can play together, and you know, even though we're in the same room,
play game.
we don't. You know, you'll hear us running down the street running, well, why did you fly over that guy and then shoot him? We've got our buddy here, Buster, and we're going to pop the table around. So one of the games that I can't give as great of a review, it's not bad, I'd say maybe 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
It's called Titan's Quest. It's a game you can buy, say, for 2 people, and they can play together. There's servers to play. But if you really have the money to spend and you want some good graphics as well, then you're going to be looking at City of Heroes or City of Villains. It's a really good game.
Now, Titan Quest is free to play online, correct?
Yes.
There's no charge to play it online.
Titan Quest you can play free online, but you had made mention on the very first show of the season that Guild Wars is coming out with another expansion.
Oh, they are, Nightfall.
And what's it? It's called Nightfall?
Yeah.
And Guild Wars is a game, again, that we spent, and we didn't have to buy any of the expansions. We spent about $49 on, and you play online, you never have to play or pay.
Yeah.
And you can go, and they have all these events like they had with City of Heroes.
They had a Halloween event, they had a Christmas event, and they put out little videos of it, and it's really cool.
And then after a year's birthday, you got a little tiny character with it.
Little pet.
You know, I mean, it's an awesome little game when it comes down to it.
Sure.
Now, I want to, as we go out here, it's all about the computer. It's all about the graphics on the computer. We're now running a dual-core system, and if I double-click here,
Core Duo.
The Core Duo system, a Conroe. We've only got 512 meg in this. Now, last week
RAM.
we had the RAM 1 gig, 2 gigs.
Yeah, we had some pretty heavy-duty
Because we were using some RAM that Deb's going to be bringing out of its packages next week, which is actually
you can't have.
OCZ RAM.
No, it's
running
Corsair
at a much
RAM.
higher
Corsair RAM.
And it's a much higher speed.
Yes.
And it runs out. This is 533. What's your new RAM going to run in your system?
I can't tell you because you'll want it. It's 1,066 megahertz.
Now I want it, and it'll go into my computer. It will fit into my computer realistically, right?
No.
Now, the last thing is that I did promise everyone we're going topless. When I had mentioned that we were going to do the show, we have the TCM Jeep, and as I bring it up, I got to go quickly to Deb's computer because I'm going into Countdown, and I want to show what our Jeep. I'm going to do it. I said I'd do it.
You're not gonna make it. No, you're not going to make it.
Okay, I'm not going to do it. And the picture's going too slow. Next week, you'll see the Jeep topless. We'll see you then.
Rogers Television viewer response line at 905-436-3500 or visit our website with your comments.
You better be a cop.
No, forensics. Tonight's the night. And it's going to happen